Hello, my fellow YouTubers. This is Roy back again. What is going on out there in this cruel environment? Leave your comments. This video I'm going to dedicate to an old friend of mine, and his name is Ralph Lopez. And this has been a study that I've been working on for about 3 years now, and it's blending frequencies together. And I finally came across something about a year ago, and it helped me understand. It was a patent from Tesla, and it helped me understand when you blend frequencies to be in resonance in that circuit, you would also have to make sure the mix of frequencies are in harmonics. And I want to show you something that I just didn't want to put out there for the last 3 years, but I just never even raised the question. You can do the past research on my videos, which I recommend all you new followers to look at my first start of my videos, and you'll see I basically knew nothing. And this was 7 years ago. But I did build this wheel, and I did know about Ed Leedskalnin, and I started to learn from there. So you can see the development. You definitely can see the ADD in me, which is starting new projects. I get excited about the more I learn, and the more I learn, the more I know. The more I know what I don't know is a lot. And I just want to give kudos out there to the guys that were hard on me and kind of like Clown Face. A couple other guys are pretty cruel, but they had a right to be. And I just wish they weren't so hard on people, because good hearts like myself, good souls, come out there every once in a while, and we have good intentions, even though we don't know what they know or the logist of things. But I jumped into it, and here I am today, 7 years later. And give kudos out to them people who kind of push me, not from stopping, but towards learning more. And whether or not they think I learned anything, that's really not up to them to decide. But I know a lot more than I knew back then. But most of it's intellectual, and I think that comes along with being an old soul. So I just want to give kudos out there to my boy Angel and his posse out there. Give my kudos out to my boy Deeds from across the pond. Haven't heard from him in a long time. Also want to give kudos out to my boy AAA Clay, my boy Scott, Made by One Man, and many more. Let's get into the video. So, in dealing with a frequency, you would think that if you think musically, that the frequency creates the spectrum of sound, and it does. And when you mix frequencies together, you would want to make sure that you're in some type of harmonic for it to sound good. And when you're dealing with Ed Leedskalnin's wheel, there's another element to everything that he speaks about in his writings, but it's not so. Uh, Other than him saying sound bass, most people can take that as the bass of the sound, or the sound of the bass, or the bass of the element, meaning the electrical bass, where people know there's your basic rules you can go with. But sound and his sound room, and how he would listen to different sounds and know the pitch, and he would know the beats. And for you guys out there that know music, you know what I'm talking about. And to be any kind of electrical whiz, I would say, you need to be musically inclined to know what the beats and what the harmonics are, and the different areas to where you can blend music. You can blend sound itself, and how it's harmonic to the ear. And that's how a perfect DJ would approach taking sounds and beats and blending them together. In order to be great electrically, you need to understand sound. Sound is very important, such important that it's extreme, just like thermodynamics are to electricity. Sound is also like the third place type of governing attribute. So you would have electrically, you're getting electrons being tossed out from solar winds throughout everywhere. And when you have some type of movement, you're going to have some type of sound that comes along with it. And that sound is, excuse me 1 second.
That big bag store for trash.
I'll wrap it over tape. Tape it?
Yeah, sorry, no, I thought you were gonna just.
Glad to see you're up. I brought it in.
Yeah, you woke me up with the crazy lady.
Well, I thought she'd be better than what you were listening to. So, back to sound. You can see how important sound is in the time it took from me to leave from talking to deal with the situation with my wife, and to come back here, and you can see how sound traveled across the room, and how sound was a vibration with a certain vigor about it, along, which would be vigor would be amplitude, as long as distance. So in this video, I'm going to show how we work with sounds in a way to where we use what's here. Now, the difficult part of this experiment here, I've learned from using this guy first. And we're going to have to somehow get you guys up. And you're going to look at Ed's PMH. Let me turn it sideways. So Ed's been hanging for a long time. And somehow it... So do you see that PMH? Let's bring it in closer. Or not. Okay, there's the PMH. I'm going to bang the PMH. I want you to listen. I know you can hear it. It's going to travel from here to there and there, back to here. And that frequency is going to vibrate between you right now. Can you guys even see me back there? You can. Between you right now and this right now is the, not only visually, that's how you see it, but also sound wise. You hear that? All right. So I did that accidentally by dropping it on the floor about about 8 years ago, and I noticed that it chimed. And I thought about, could the PMH be more driven towards its design and its shape? Let me get you back there. And its shape. If you did add the keeper bar to the top of it, it does become a tuning fork. Now this doesn't stick at all. It's heavy. Not much going on there. But I've been wanting to show off this experiment. Was one of my first Ed Leedskalnin. I'm going to take this little battery. We're going to wrap. I need a piece of tape. Hold on. This is obviously going to be a longer video than I thought, but you know what? It's going to be worth it. When I show you there, the wheel. I'm going to take the hook up the positive. I'm going to take it and twine it. Put some tape on this thing. And we're going to take this PMH, which I want you guys to realize this because nobody ever mentions that the PMH is part of a hit and miss motor. If you look at the cores on a hit and miss motor, right after steam engines, you'll see that they are shaped just like this, and they come in all different various forms, and it was pretty interesting how they skinned pieces of it off and started using it for other things. And especially Ed with his. So here we go. So I have just wire wrapped around it, okay? And I got this keeper bar. Gonna put the bar up, it doesn't stick. Now if I touch this, we're stuck. Now the thing is, what got me going is I didn't know you didn't need the wire anymore. Nobody shows that. So I'm going to show you guys. You don't need the wire anymore. The wire, similar to the dissecting a capacitor MIT video. If you haven't seen it, check it out, YouTube. It's called Dissecting a Capacitor from MIT University. And they had showed you with that experiment that is the dielectric that holds the charge, and it was the metal that moved the charge, or the inductor, which is metal because it's a metallic. Now, not like iron here, which is the number one, number uno. Remember that. The most dynamic metal of all metals, the most consuming metals of all metals. You have your density of lead, you have your density of bismuth. Very important. But you also have a PMH. Now, why is that piece of iron sticking there? Why is it holding on, guys? There's nothing about it. Let's see what happens to the sound on this if it changes. Wow, it dampened. Because we shunted it. It's dampened. Let's try it on the inside. Same thing. Same thing. Nothing. Got trapped energy going there. Let's move down to this beast. So, if you look at a bell has a center swinging, still connected to the chassis. So you look at this bell upside down. That was short, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to tap down on the center. And by doing so, I kind of put this whole shaft in perfect place. Let's listen to it again. Dampened quick, didn't it? Let's put it in motion. We're going to put a tuning fork on it. C range. Let's see how it reacts. Right now, let's go ahead and make the bell ring. What I want you to notice here is that when you get to a certain depth, this frequency that's here, this wheel is a low base wheel, okay? It's heavy, it's got magnets, it's got a lot of iron. So when you add iron, you can see the frequency here is a sine wave, and that's hooked up to the PMH. Now when I take that iron, and say if I move it forward here, And I'm going to move it a little forward. I want you to watch the top of the wave. The top of the wave won't be so smooth once I get, let's lower the height, the intensity. So watch the top of the wave. The top of the wave has a little hump. Now I have too much induction, too much iron, and it's in the wrong side of the field right now. So you can see this sort of like a Gumby. Remember that cartoon Gumby? You got a Gumby effect. Now let's pull back a little bit. I just got shocked a little bit. I don't know how. Oh, what the heck? Oh, just a piece of splinter sticking up. All right, so I'm going to pull back. Now watch the hump. See the hump smooth out? Look, it's still a little high. I'm going to back it up, back it up. You can see the hump. Now I can bring the intensity down. Now watch the whole thing just go down. So right now I'm going to go back up so we can bring it up and show in there. But we're going to go back in. We're going to bring more intensity to the field. Back it up, bring it in. So you can see iron is very important. So I've kind of calculated that if I turn this at 8 hertz, between 8 and 12 hertz, that is the frequency. But if I want to blend in a frequency to get to a frequency of what I'm looking to manipulate, the molecules of the atoms of that frequency, would be harmonic. So if the Schumann resonance is sitting at 7.8, and let's just say this, we know that during stellar, or should I call it equinox on the Earth, changes, the Schumann resonance rises, and as far as I know, it can go up to 100. It's been known to go up almost 100. So we'll just say 100 Tesla area, which is 100 hertz. Notice how smooth this wheel is turning. 100 hertz. So we're in that range. We're looking to make a potential difference. What do you mean, Roy? What do you mean potential difference? You must be asking me right now. You're sitting there scratching your head. What do you mean by potential difference? A potential difference in sound is what I'm talking about here. A potential difference in sound. And what I mean by that is you would start off with 1 hertz, 10 hertz. And then you would incrementally go up to get a higher potential, but it has to be in a harmonic. It has to be in increments. It has to be at the nodes, the neutral places, the places to where you can destroy atoms in their self, or the bad. You can let me rephrase that. You can destroy the things that make the atom unpure, because the part of the atom that becomes deteriorated, or you can look at it as it disintegrates, cancer, leukemia, stuff like that, to where the cell multiplies and makes more bad cells, that you could overcome that by destroying the bad of the cell by having a harmonic from blends of frequencies. And this is how you do it. Notice the wheel. I'm going to have to bring you closer, only because I want you to hear. It's the blending of the frequencies that react to the atoms that are in the middle between them. The same induction that we look at in a way that we look at electromagnetic induction, electrostatic induction, the induction between the nucleus and the outer shells or orbits of electrons that flow in that atom become distorted or flipped through a process of deterioration. It's almost falls straight in line with how you have radiant bad gases coming out of a element because it's flipped itself. It's flipped its poles. If you look at the wavefront that we're generating here, now this is solely coming from here. Remember that sine wave you're looking at. Let's pull back and bring it down a little bit. You can see it's smooth. Beautiful, beautiful humps. That's being generated here. The sound bar that you're hearing, we can go down through different tuning forks. This is a very lower one. It's got the weights on the end. I want you to hear this. I don't know what's wrong with that one. Let's go to the other low one. I know you can't hear the low ones, but I can feel the vibration in my hand, and it's going rampant. The neutral zone inside there, let's talk about that. Go to a low guy. Frequencies are off, the harmonics are off. So here we're talking about the substance of the wheel itself, the iron, the mass of it, the magnets, the wavefront. Sine wave. What was Ed thinking when he's put together a 5-layer? 5 layers. Let's go ahead and bang the center and hear the sound of the wheel itself. Don't forget, you still got this stuck here. There's no more copper, no more wires. The iron is stuck together. The iron is stuck together. This is heavy too. The iron is stuck together. Remember that, guys. The iron. Leave your comments. Love you all. Peace out. Happy holidays. not so cruel. You got to be cruel to be kind. Difference of potential in sound is what I'm trying to put out there. If you want to disintegrate parts of the atom or shake off bad parts of the atom, it all can be done. Cancer cures, leukemia, all kinds of illnesses. I'm sure they know. I guess I need to buy a nice magnifying glass scope and put my blood on there and look at the live cells and start somehow showing the difference in frequencies. It's a blend, and it's basically from Tesla's different writings. All the writings seem to come out to a way to show that these human cells can be brought back to their natural vigor. So that means aging should totally be wiped out. And it's probably why they don't want us to know. Peace out. Leave your comments. Live forever.